Secretary of State Rogers has arrived in Cairo, the first American Secretary of State to visit Egypt in 18 years. There's no report yet on how his talks with Arab leaders are going. What he's doing, his aides say, is to talk directly with all the parties involved in Mideast tensions in the hope there is some ground where they can get together for peace. Army Secretary Stanley Reeser ended a 10-day inspection trip in Vietnam and told reporters in Saigon a time of crisis will come as more American units are withdrawn, leaving heavier responsibilities on the South Vietnamese. The training program for the South Vietnamese, Reeser said, is going well but must be accelerated because time is running out. ABC's Steve Bell reports on one phase of the training program.
This is an English language training course for South Vietnamese Air Force personnel. The U.S. military has already created a South Vietnamese army in its own image. And the question now is, can it create the kind of Air Force that such an army depends on? Because of the language and technological requirements, expansion of the Air Force is generally recognized as the toughest and slowest area of Vietnamization. But the questions being asked about South Vietnam's strike force of fixed-wing aircraft involve the planes and not the pilots. This is the A37 Dragonfly, a jet trainer turned into a fighter bomber. The A37 pilots have a generally high experience level, and their U.S. advisors consider them among the most accurate bombers anywhere. Vice President Key, an experienced combat pilot, calls the A37 a woman, and he accuses the U.S. of giving the Vietnamese an obsolete Air Force.
The A37 is not an obsolete airplane. It was, in fact, built for this war for the Vietnamese. The airplane criteria for design was to be inexpensive, simple to build, simple to maintain, and inexpensive to maintain, safe, have a complete acrobatic ability.
But the Americans concede that the Air Force now being given to the South Vietnamese could never support an operation like the recent drive into Laos. Instead, the U.S. is gambling on a lower level of warfare in the future to allow withdrawal of U.S. planes and to give the South Vietnamese self-sufficiency in the air. Steve Bell, ABC News, Nha Trang, South Vietnam.
The Army in Saigon has filed murder charges against 8 soldiers. They're accused of shooting at a group of Vietnamese civilians from a helicopter, killing 1 and wounding 16.